You know those fake tan wipes?
Yeah.
Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, a friend of mine left some at mine. I thought, I wonder what that looked like, so I did my arms, but I obviously don't know what I'm doing.
No, that's
So
actually not too bad. Should we do it?
We're doing hi guys.
I think so.
Alright.
1,
Alright.
2, 3.
Hi guys!
It's Izzy, and I'm joined today with
Stephen.
from the channel.
Stephen Davison.
And I've started my new film series, my film collab series.
So today we're going to be discussing The Social Network, which is my favourite film.
Oh, all time?
All time.
All time?
Got to be.
Good choice, good choice. So it's a 2010 film. The director is...
David Fincher.
Correct. And it's also written by Aaron Sorkin, who has done a cameo in the film. Just a little side note,
FYI.
just FYI. It's got an all-star cast really, if you'd like to use that word.
I'd say all-star cast from 2010.
Yeah, yeah, maybe not current all-star cast, but it's Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield.
Justin Timberlake.
So yeah, it's about the invention of Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah, well it is, but it isn't. It's like...
It's a bit...
It's more about... Plan this.
So it's based on the Facebook.
It's based on the invention of Facebook,
yeah.
But it's not really about the invention of Facebook. It's about friendship and betrayal and Shakespearean stories, and it's just kind of wrapped in Facebook bubble wrap.
I was your only friend. Yet one friend.
It's about as accurate as Bohemian Rhapsody. Honestly, because half of that film was made up.
Yeah, no, this film, I noticed there was a lot, they've changed a lot of the plot to fit that sort of theme of betrayal.
Yeah.
And sort of vengeance almost, because like, I was watching like facts that they got right and wrong about the film. Mark Zuckerberg, obviously the main guy in the film, the inventor of Facebook, if you like, that's up to interpretation. That's what the whole film. Yeah, he had a girlfriend in real life whilst inventing Facebook, and obviously in the film, the whole plot of it is he's inventing Facebook to get vengeance at a girl, which obviously spirals the whole.
Which, thinking about it, kind of makes it worse. One of the things he got right was Facebook started off as a rating girls thing. That's literally what
horrendous.
It was. Which is obviously horrendous, but it also makes it worse the fact that he had a girlfriend while he was making that.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd agree, but I'd say that the film it's not narrated by Mark Zuckerberg or like by his character. It's not even through his point of view, but the film is almost told through his perspective. He's the most famous person to come out of Facebook. Every single person in the world knows the name Mark Zuckerberg, so you're sort of naturally drawn to him anyway, and you only know as much as the character knows at the times, like when the what their names, Winklevosses?
The Winklevoss.
So they're being betrayed by Mark Zuckerberg, and obviously the audience knows this, they're following Mark's story, but they have no idea. And then you only know as much as what Mark knows about everyone else. So you don't know about Eduardo. Eduardo seems to have quite a interesting backstory.
I think he's like the only nice bloke in the film.
Yeah, and you don't know much about him.
Are you alright? I need you. I'm here for you. No, I need the algorithm used to rank chess players.
Their entire friendship can be boiled down to getting beer. There's a scene where Eduardo goes up to the mini fridge, gets out a couple of beers, and walks back around into their main room, and Mark just follows behind him, gets himself a beer, and then there's nothing discussed, but you can see from that scene, Eduardo's gone up and got them both a beer.
Yeah.
Mark's gone up and got himself a beer. Not only is it Mark just getting himself a beer and just looking out for himself, he can't imagine that Eduardo would get him a beer. You're not meant to like him because he's very, very clearly shown as a bad person.
Yeah,
but also someone who's... It's like what they tried to do with Sheldon in Big Bang Theory.
I was getting Sheldon vibes.
It's like when they tried to go like, oh, see, he's so smart, he's keeping up at his own pace. Yeah. And other people can't keep up. So we see from the opening scene, when they're sat talking to each other, Erica and Mark, the opening line we get from Mark is, isn't it incredible that there's more people in China with genius IQs than people in the US?
Yeah.
And Erica is just amazed by this fact. So if you look through the actual screenplay of the film, that opening scene in the restaurant or wherever it is, it's, they're having completely different conversations.
Yeah.
If you look through it line by line, Mark is still talking about how to distinguish yourself and how to be different.
Yeah.
And Erica is still 3 lines behind talking about,
Like,
oh, China, that's
like,
amazing.
How can that be? Yeah.
It isn't until Erica says a finals club,
Yeah.
that's when they have this. That's when they're on the same page, because that's what Mark wants to talk about.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, how do you distinguish yourself among everybody else who got maximum marks on their SATs?
For me, that is like the key theme of
Yeah.
the film, is how to distinguish yourself amongst a bunch of geniuses, because they're all top of the top, all best in the game, and they all want to make that one thing that makes them cool. That is the aim of their thing, to stand out and be cool. Yeah, but that's, I think, why he looks up to Sean so much, is because
He's already made that
he's
thing
made
that's
that
distinguished
money,
himself.
and he seems just cool compared to like Mark. Mark looks up to him as like this cool god, and he doesn't really care what his like geeky roommate's got to say.
I say it's time to start making money from the Facebook, but Mark doesn't want to advertise you. Who's right?
Neither of you yet. The Facebook is cool, that's what it's got going for it.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin it with ads because ads aren't cool.
Exactly.
Mark in the entire film is very surface level
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
It's very well. You can tell that from what he knows about Eduardo, who's his best friend.
Yeah.
He basically doesn't know anything about actual Eduardo.
Yeah, just what he can give.
he does the money.
Yeah.
So hey, give us some money.
Yeah.
So the quote that sets up the entire film, I think, for me, is right after she breaks up with him. She says to him, maybe the best line in the film.
You're gonna go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that that won't be true. It'll be because you're an asshole.
Standard films, you'll have the nerd likes the girl. The nerd can't get the girl because he's a nerd. Then the nerd does something heroic. Nerd
Wins
gets
at
the
that.
girl.
Yeah.
That's it. But from that line, you're like, oh no, she. It's not because he's a nerd she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
It's because he's awful.
Yeah, and it foreshadows the film, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that almost shows the irony of what they're creating as well, because they're creating a social network. Throughout the entire film, they just become
More isolated.
All the characters, they're working on this thing which could be celebrated as a collaboration of all their ideas, and instead they sort of isolate themselves and think it was my idea, well I did this much, I pitched in this much, well I invented Facebook.
I didn't use any of their code, I promise. I didn't use anything. Look, a guy who built a nice chair doesn't owe money to everyone who ever has built a chair, okay? They came to me with an idea, I had a better one.
It's called the Little Bitcoin. That's smart, Mark.
Oh, thanks. That was mine.
We know he stole our idea. We know he lied to our faces for a month and a half.
No, he never lied to our faces.
Okay, he never saw our faces, fine. He lied to our email accounts and he gave himself a 42-day head start because he knows what apparently you don't, which is that getting there first is everything.
Instead of like thinking, hang on guys, look at what
We
we
all
created.
invented
We all
Facebook.
invented Facebook. It's the whole idea of like what it means to create something. Is it the person that has the idea? Is it the person who actually puts it into action? Is it the person who spent the most time on it? Is it the
Is
person,
the
that has
person
the
who
most
funded
knowledge?
it?
Yeah, like, so it's sort of the irony that they all become so isolated through the social network, and the end scene of it is literally like he's lost all his friends, he's being sued by everyone, and
But
he
hey,
sits there
at
and
least you've got the money.
literally, and he sits there alone in his office, and he has to go online to sort of fix everything that he's done.
So, just to talk about Sorkin's screenplay, because I've read up on it, or I watched a behind the scenes thing, and basically, most screenplays are like 120 to 130 pages long. So if you think of one page as 1 minute of screen time,
Yeah.
this screenplay was 300 pages long.
So they were like,
So every studio was like, nah, not doing a
Yeah.
300-minute film. Are you insane? And it had to
That's
be
all
David.
dialogue and
Yeah,
everything,
and it had
yeah.
to be David Fincher to go. Yeah, no, they're gonna rattle through this. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be half that. It's gonna be like a page every 30 seconds.
yeah,
And you can tell because if you're listening to some, I mean, this whole film is basically dialogue.
yeah, yeah.
And if you're not
literally.
listening for a minute, you miss
miss the
something,
plot.
and you're just like, oh, all right, well, I'm gonna have to rewind that.
That's one
because
thing I really like about the social network, because like, if you just told someone, I'm just going to watch a film where it's just people talking, you'd think boring. But this film isn't boring at all, is it? Like, that's quite an understatement to say it's just not boring, but...
Oh yeah, no, literally. I'd rather someone offers me the choice to watch this or a Marvel film. I'm
Yeah.
going, let me watch that breakdown again at the end.
Yeah.
So Sorkin has said that the way he often sees writing dialogue is writing music. So the way there's like a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
So some of it kind of rhymes. When they're waiting for Sean Parker, Eduardo says to him, he's 25 minutes late. To which Mark, which shows his admiration for Sean already, going, he invented Napster when he was 19. He could be late.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the response is, well, he's not God. Mark says, well, what is he then? And you get Eduardo going, he's 25 minutes late.
Yeah. So
and it's
he
just
looks at facts, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's just so back and forth that it's always, and I mean, just from that, it's almost like he's 25 minutes late to a meeting he set up. Nightclub scene. So not only is it, I mean, obviously they're in a nightclub and everyone's dancing and it's clearly like a big fun night out, but Sean and Mark had just sat down at a table upstairs talking about work.
Yeah, like never switch off.
Yeah,
sort of
never switch
Facebook's
off.
life, yeah.
And it's probably the only time I've seen a realistic nightclub scene in a film. Because every time it's like, obviously you've got the music down low so you can hear what's being said, but Fincher...
So they're proper reaching across like, what?
Yeah, like David Fincher was just like, yeah, no, that's not what nightclubs are like, so let's turn the music up.
The royalty-free music,
The royalty-free,
yeah.
so that, you know, no one can hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
You have to lean in and put subtitles on and lean into the speaker and hope you can hear something.
Again, it's like the whole realism of the film. Like they wanted to make it look like you were actually watching the real thing taking place.
So the big confrontation scene at the end, it's what the entire, it's the crescendo. Everything's been built into it.
Because you know there's going to be a point where Eduardo's just got a snap.
Yeah,
like,
he's been too nice.
Yeah, no one's been such a mug. Like you just can't be such a mug. So.
I've never heard anyone say it that way. It's like, you can't be a mug. You got Eduardo going into the office of Facebook and having a conversation. He rocks up with his briefcase and goes to shake your hand, and it's like, oh, okay, why is
do you know what broke my heart when he said, I didn't know whether to dress for the Facebook celebration party or a meeting, so I dressed for both, and I was like, oh, but you couldn't go to neither. I was like, oh.
Then the lawyer says something like, so we need to discuss something or other. And then you cut to outside of the office and you can't actually hear what's been said. You know what's been said, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
And then you just get Eduardo like, alright, nah, sack that, lads. Burst through the door. I mean, I think he destroyed 99 laptops. David Fincher had 99 laptops made.
Oh, for that scene.
To get the perfect shot.
I thought you meant like the actual Eduardo, as in like he went on a rampage in the HQ
a laptop
before someone
rampage.
stopped him, 90 before security got him.
David Fincher's such a perfectionist that it was literally like, he'd do it and then it's like, right, no, do it again. And then he got to like 99 and he was like, oh, do you want me to do it again? You know, round out to 100. He was like, no, it's done now.
Do that.
Like, that would infuriate me. I'd have to do it one more time. But yeah, I feel like that scene is the level that professionals in filmmaking should be aspiring to reach. It's all very well, you know, like action films and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong,
CGI and everything. So you get all of.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A long one-shot action scene. I mean, that's like my porn. But like, to be able to do something like that without any physical violence, it's just a conversation. I don't think you can really. If you can reach that height without it being a fight.
Just that,
Normally, in a lot of films or scenes, the laptop smash would be at the end. It'd be like, you know, like in a sketch, you've got the punchline, and like in an action film, the big punch is like the last thing you see. Normally, you'd have the laptop smash be the last thing, and then walk off.
His security.
But it's just like, no, first thing, and then it's because it's about the dialogue, not
not the action itself. Yeah. Interesting point. So yeah, that has been our little discussion, our little thoughts on the film The Social Network.
Very structured.
Very structured. Definitely wasn't just a ramble, turn the camera on and just see where the words take us. But yeah, I had a lot of fun discussing this. Thanks for being on my channel.
I had the time of my life.
Very first film collab, so feel honoured. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any additional thoughts on The Social Network, if we've missed any points.
We definitely have.
We definitely have. Or if you've got any other films that you want me to review, recommend, or any other people you want to see on my channel, I would definitely get in touch with a few people, and I've got a few more faces to be on the channel, so look out for that. And anything else, I just sort of ramble away, don't I? Be sure to check out Stephen's channel as well, and yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!